This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, Reading Between the Political Lines. I've discussed problems with the mainstream media on more than one occasion, but as the midterm elections are rapidly approaching, I have spotted another example of media corruption which voters should be made aware of, specifically the misrepresentation of voting data. I first noticed this with the special congressional election in Pennsylvania's 18th district held in March, where the Democrat candidate squeaked by the Republican by just 755 votes. Prior to this, the New York Times made the observation, quote, in 2016, Mr. Trump won the district by double digits, end quote. This was parroted by the political talking heads on television repetitively. So much so, I became suspicious and decided to investigate their claim. The first thing I did was go to the Pennsylvania Board of Elections to see what data was available pertaining to the 2016 presidential election on a district basis. I quickly discovered there is no such data, as presidential election results are reported on a county basis, which is quite common. Knowing this, I then tried to piece together the data based on the counties in the district. This was not easy to do, as District 18 consists of parts of Allegheny, Greene, Washington, and Westmoreland counties. This complication explains why there is no presidential election data available on a district basis. Nonetheless, here is what I was able to put together. In that specific area, Mrs. Clinton won 461,116 votes to 443,250 votes for Mr. Trump. Here we see Mrs. Clinton was actually the winner of this area, not Mr. Trump. But we must remember District 18 consists of part of Allegheny County, the largest prize. If we were to cut the county's figures by half, Mr. Trump would win the district, but by only 6 percentage points, hardly the double digits reported by the mainstream media. In other words, the mainstream media is spreading falsehoods to the public. So I challenged the press to reveal their sources for making such a bold claim. I'm betting there is no such data, and this was a fallacious statement designed to mislead the public and encourage the blue tide to vote. The victory by the Democrats was widely trumpeted by the mainstream media to indicate the tide is turning, thereby rebuffing the president, and will likely turn the House of Representatives back to the Democrats. Democrat Connor Lamb may have won the congressional seat for now, but he faces re-election in November. Next, let's turn to Arizona's District 8. Like Pennsylvania, a special election was held in Arizona on April 24th for District 8. Like Pennsylvania District 18, the Arizona District is just a portion of Maricopa County as represented by the north and west suburbs of Phoenix. Prior to the election, I spotted an email from a Democrat fundraiser. The verbiage was remarkably similar to what we heard in Pennsylvania, to wit, quote, if you'd asked me a year ago if I thought Arizona's 8th congressional district was going to be a competitive seat for Democrats, I might have said no. The district has been considered safely Republican for years, and Donald Trump won it in 2016 by more than 20 points, end quote. This, too, was parroted by the media, including CNN, who wrote, quote, President Donald Trump carried the district in 2016 by 21 percentage points, end quote. Naturally, I became suspicious again and checked the presidential election data in Arizona. Like Pennsylvania, I could find no data on a district basis, only by county. From this perspective, I discovered Mr. Trump won Maricopa County by 2.9 percentage points, not the 20 points claimed by the Democrats. Once again, I started to smell a rat. The email I received went on to claim, quote, but we've seen in 2018 that any district can be competitive if we go for it. Dr. Hyrule Teperney has been organizing on the ground and talking to voters directly. And guess what? 2 polls this week have her up or tied, end quote. Again, my spider senses told me something was wrong, and I looked it up and found 2 polls. The first one from Emerson College in Boston had the Democrat candidate up by 1 point. Emerson is a fine school for the creative arts, but I question their surveying methodology. The other poll was based out of Phoenix, part of Maricopa County, the OH Predictive Insights, which was sponsored by the local ABC affiliate. According to the poll, the Republican candidate was up by 10 points and indicated the Republican will win the race convincingly. Interestingly, Republican Debbie Lesko did in fact win the contest by a decisive margin of 5.22 percentage points, more than Mr. Trump took in all of Maricopa County. Following her win, the silence from the media was deafening. Had the Democrat won, the hoopla would have been as loud as what followed in Pennsylvania. Why would that be? If anything, the media sounded more like sour grapes following the Republicans' victory. For example, quote, CNN has projected that Republicans won the special election in Arizona's 8th congressional district, but once again, Democrats have overperformed in a deep red district. In another sign, the national environment is in their favor, end quote. All right, what's the bottom line? The distortion of the facts by the mainstream media is reprehensible and denotes their loyalty as they are materially assisting the Democrats get elected. All of this is being done to suggest a blue tide is rising and will recapture the Congress in November, thereby becoming more of an impediment to the Trump administration. The lesson here is simple. The next time you read or hear about Mr. Trump winning a congressional district by a wide margin, know that the news media is presenting you with a bold-faced lie. And if they top it off with polls that do not seem to make sense, they're probably a figment of someone's imagination, someone in the Democrat Party. And the mainstream media wonders why they are no longer trusted by the American public. Go figure. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.